Hey guys, we're archaeologists. We're here to Schrexcavate some Schroit Schreit now. So Schrubsky right now, and we're gonna be Schrens.
That's epic. I did start recording, so we got that. So hi
Okay,
everyone.
good.
So me and Fivil are gonna be working together to excavate some Schroit that you may not remember. So basically, we're gonna be starting this new series where we're looking through some old classics, maybe some hidden gems, and
Yeah.
given our 2 cents, we'll be giving some positive, some negative, some helpful feedback, and really trying to bring light to some of these underrated Schroit releases that you might have missed.
So what we want people to realize is this Schroit is like we're going back in the Schroit. So it's not some current Schroit. These artists have evolved since then. Like today we're gonna be reviewing Maximum Security. We're gonna go back on this second album of Chocolat Fondeur, which is one of my like I love this album, but I feel like not many people know about it. So we wanted to bring a bit of light. So this is the goal of the series is to Schreckstavate some Schroit and get some the Schrotlight on it.
Like I'll be
And yeah.
honest, Maximum Security, like I remember hearing it when it came out. And I remember thinking that it was better than the first Chocolat Fondue album. I remember that much. But I
Mhm.
don't remember too much about it. I think when Dark Solder came out, I believe Dark Solder was the album that came out after this one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm. I think
Like
so.
I latched on Dark Solder. I think Dark Solder is fantastic. I still think it's one of Chocolat Fondue's greatest.
Let's go
Um,
check.
yeah.
So yeah, it was Dissipation, Relaxation, Smelled the Rich before, then Maximum Security, and then yeah, Dark Solder, and then Christmas is canceled. So like, but yeah, I feel like Maximum Security hasn't been talked about much, and like when this one comes down, like when I have my playlist on shuffle of just all the Schroit that exists,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
So I think we get right into it. So we're gonna start off with the first song called "Cancerous Orb." So yeah, this album is one of the like fairly early Schroit. It came out in on the 26th of September 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So
So this is
a
old
while
stuff.
back. I was 22 years old at that time. I was a youngling. I was a
Yeah.
oh no, I was 23. Yeah. Or no, 22, 22. Yeah. Yeah,
Trying to remember how
yeah.
years work.
Yeah.
I would have been 21
I'm
still.
done.
No, I would have been 22 because
Yeah,
of
you would have
how
been 22 because
months work.
you're
Because
older.
of the order of months. Yes.
Yeah. Because
Mm.
my birthday August 22nd. So if you guys want to wish me happy birthday on my birthday in the comments, hell yeah.
Mine's a mystery.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, this album, it like for the early Schroit albums, there wasn't many experimentation with like having different album arts. That was Mr. Arg that started this, so this one has all the same album art. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're gonna start out, and yeah, the profile picture of Chocolat Fondue hasn't changed since the start, which I'm a big fan of. I think
Mm-hmm.
same thing for me. I've never changed my profile picture. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's pretty funny. Maybe someday.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start it off. So the first song, Cancer Sorb, I feel like it really gets you into the maximum security mindset. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking, this is not a comfy place to be in. I feel like it
Mm-hmm.
really encapsulates that in one song.
And I gotta say, the drum set, like the basic drum preset on Beatbox, it's so good. It's a classic.
Hmm.
Like, there's a
Oh
reason
yeah.
why we use it so often. It's easily my most used drum preset.
Oh, same.
It just works so well, and those fast
Oh yeah.
always hits.
It's one if for the new Schroiters who don't who want to try to make some Schroit and want to get some more tips. Popcorn drums are sometimes something really interesting to try to play
Yeah.
with. You There's like a setting where you can choose freestyle instead of having like separated into fours.
Or
You can
freehand.
choose freehand. I mean, yeah, freehand. Freehand, you can choose the length you want, so you can make it very very small and just have a very quick succession of like the same instrument, and it makes a really interesting sound, which I've used quite a bit. And yeah, so this was used, I feel, a bit for this song.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're getting into Mossy Pit, which is the second song. Let's listen.
Mm-hmm.
So So yeah, there's that like the drums like were really the thing I think pushing
Yeah,
that
there's a
song
solid
forward.
accent, but there's always like a kind of leading you into that accent on those on beats. So even though some of the
Hmm.
parts sound kind of like off kiltered, there's always that like constant pulse that kind of sucks you back in.
Hmm. I like those like drums that come back like it starts like and then it like changes to some other drums and then it goes back to that. Like it's always good to go back to your roots once in a while. Like go back into like when you start a song, you sometimes just bring it back. You know,
Yeah.
bring them back to home. It's interesting. So I like the song. It's like my favorite one. I think it's the last one on the album. Spoiler alert. But this album, like I feel like it's a very heavy album, which I always appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have consonantal assimilation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that there? A huge change of character from the previous two while still being kind of cohesive.
Hmm.
Very old school Schroit. Like you hear
Yeah.
that and you're like, this now we're talking old school Schroit.
Yeah. This
Right?
was at
Very characteristic of
the
that time.
the infancy of Schroit. This was when
Mm-hmm.
Schroit was still discovering who they were. It's like, are we wearing some bangs or are we going with like some
Yeah.
more like a mullet?
Mm-hmm.
So and now I think we're at the point where it's like, yeah, I'm just shaving it all off, and
Yeah.
we're just testing that out, and like it's working. It's like we have like Schroit has the right head shape for a bald head, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty good.
Like I feel like there's like that kind of innocence to that kind of song, right? That kind of like
Hmm.
childlike wonder and like
Hmm.
euphoria of like the world is so bright and there's so much to discover.
It's one thing I think
Mm-hmm.
new Schroeder should try. Make some songs in the style of Schroit that was like in the infancy. It makes it so it's like a quick callback. And us old coots,
Yeah.
old big Schroeders, we like just we're like oh yeah, the good times, you
Yeah.
know, when it was easier, when it was like simpler times,
Mm-hmm.
when I was still in university and didn't have to work full
Man,
time.
I still remember making Trinity Deluxe, and that that was such a great time. Like old school
Yo.
Schroit, it was a because the
Oh,
thing is, I didn't think about it. I wasn't thinking.
yeah.
I was just like, oh, it'd be really funny if I did this for a whole album, and then I did it in like like maybe like 20 minutes or like less,
Hmm.
and then I
Yeah.
dropped it, and I was like, here's my new album, guys, and it's still one of my best albums.
Oh, I love that
So,
album so much.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was consonantal assimilation. So yeah, mushroom dance. Oh, what this? Oh, the chef's kiss. I'm ready.
Lay it on me.
You ready? Okay.
Yeah. Immediately,
Oh,
that's
what?
probably my favorite track off the album so
Oh,
far.
oh,
Great,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
great track,
Oh, yeah.
right? The way it
Like,
all
oh yeah.
they all sync up at the end, and it just keeps moving forward. Those nice
And those
slides,
slides,
yeah,
yeah. Boom, wow, wow, wow. It's
yeah.
yeah. It's so when I get like the album just gets better. You know, it just keeps on like.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and now my favorite one. Counterintuitive idiosyncrasy.
Mm-hmm.
This one, you guys aren't ready for this one. Are you ready for this one?
Lay it on me.
Okay. There we go.
Very
So
solid stuff. Love those slides again. The slides are really being
it's
used well here.
in that song. The thing I really like is you have like the instrument that plays like more of a high note, and then there's like the other more like it's
Yeah.
like it's a conversation. I like that in songs where it's like there's a conversation between those two instruments, and like one of them is just like one of them's happy, and the other one's just like I don't know, like
The other one
really
is the
annoyed.
nagging wife.
Exactly. This it really makes you think. What if I was in a maximum security prison and then there was a guy who just came up to me and just said, "Give me a-"
Exactly.
I wouldn't like that, but I like this song.
Yeah,
Always remember that.
because it gives you that feeling and not the
Yeah,
dread.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's is there a song called Dread yet? I don't think there is.
Mm.
But yeah,
Probably outside
uh,
of Schroit, but
yeah. I'm thinking Schroit. Like, yeah,
yeah.
whenever I make a new Schroit song, I always go through, look through all. Okay, is there something called Lobotomy yet? Oh, okay, I'm good to
Yeah.
go. It's a good thing to do for the new Schroiters. You just go look through the
Dude,
Schroit
when I
database.
made Dodge the Rain, I was like off my album Chameleonic Rain. I was so like for some reason in my head I was like that song name has been taken. That's definitely a Schroit song, and but I couldn't find it. So I used it hesitantly, but I'm like my gut is telling me that someone already uses a Schroit song name. But I think I was thinking of Drown the Ocean,
Hmm.
which is kind of similar Drown the Ocean, Dodge the Rain, but it wasn't taken. Um.
One thing that I think is kind of funny is Madre Much made a song. What's the
Oh yeah, he has a song called Copper Wire, like singular.
yeah, and
Because
I
he
was
didn't
just like,
realize that you have
oh,
copper wires.
yeah.
Huge
Let me go
mistake.
find that. It might have been like more of a known song, but it was this Copper Wires is just such a imposing presence.
It is. Like if it was like after like one of like those like Schmuckschreut songs, then it would have been like, oh, okay, it's like a similar name, but that's fine. But for such an iconic one, that's like if I
Yeah,
made a track called "The Futility of Looking One Way," right?
do it,
It's just the futility of
do it.
looking both ways, but panned all into one side.
So yeah, but
Yeah.
that's a lesson for you new shorters. If you make a song that's close to another song name, be ready to have to like top that other song that you're making a
Like if you
song
made a
about.
song called "More Weaknesses," that would be fine.
Oh,
Not a single person who's watching this is gonna think that's funny.
I'm
Not a
watching it.
single person, but we will.
Yeah, but yeah. So that was like I this album. I'm like this is I feel a great album that hasn't had as much recognition as I think it should.
I think it was a solid album.
Yeah, especially those two last ones. It's like it hits hard.
How much would you give it out of 5? Let's do a 5-point rating.
Can we give it like really five? I feel like five is restricted. Like if we go to like, percentage, we can give more different. Like we can give more of a flavor to it. You know?
But I feel like if we do percentage, then we have a issue of among a lot of things of inconsistency in our grades.
Mm, okay. It's since we're starting off, I don't want to give too high of a note or too low of a note. So
Yeah.
I think I might just give middle 3. I think solid album 3 for me. I'm listening to it and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Under 3, 4 it's like okay, I'm putting this on repeat, and then 5 is just like oh,
5
this
is
is
masterpiece tier.
I don't know if we're
One
gonna
is
get to that.
like why did you even release this?
Yeah,
If we ever
uh,
give one of your releases a 1, you take that as an insult.
yeah, like shrapnel in my eyes.
Hey, don't worry about it. Maybe
Yeah,
Girls Night Out might get the 1.
I hope so. I hope so. If it gets more than a 1,
Actually, it'd be really funny if the only ones we ever give are just to the entire Paddywhack discography.
that would be
But
funny.
for the rating, I think I'd agree. I think a 3 is good for this one. I think it's a good solid album, but nothing about it really like blows my mind. Like there's nothing here that makes me go like, oh, like there's stuff where I'm like,
Mhm,
oh, okay, I can see early Chocolat Fondant. There's some good tracks here. Mushroom Dance, again, great song. Counterintuitive idiosyncrasy, pretty solid banger. But
mhm,
like compared to other Chocolat Fondant, it's not like it doesn't really stand out to me. But it's still a solid
mhm.
album.
Yeah.
And if someone
So,
liked this album, then
mhm,
they'll absolutely love the other stuff that Chocolat Fondant has to offer.
this was like an intro bit of Chocolat Fondant. Like
Mm,
usually when someone makes their first album, it's never their it's usually never their best, but it's usually something that's like, okay, we get where they're coming from. We're getting like a feel of their
yeah.
personality, like who they are, what they're thinking, what they ate, what they want, what they feel,
Mm. I think the
how
only Schroeder
yeah.
who their first Schroit album is their best album is Handba.
That is a great
right?
point.
That's the only one I can really think of. I
But
think
what
some
about
people
heresy?
you can like stop talking for a long time. So I think some people might say the same thing about Mint Miracle because like Liberal Democracy was kind of a classic, like One for the Road. Like everyone remembers One for the Road, but I don't think that it's my best album. I don't think it's my best album anymore. I think
Yeah,
I've
it's
got
Trinity
other albums that
Deluxe.
pass about. Yeah, it's gotta be Trinity Deluxe. Um, I think Date Night is honestly a contender. I think it's. I
It's
mean, The
one
Gift of
of
Giving.
my classic Mint Miracle albums is Frederick. I love Frederick
That is a
so much. It's
classic.
so different. It's so like it was so
It was
controversial at the
so
time,
controversial at the time. Yeah.
but it created a new era of okay, controversy is interesting. Let's do more.
Yeah.
And we like
But you
controversy.
had
We
to
try
warn
out
people.
stuff.
You had to warn them, which you did
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
consequences of controversy.
Oh yeah. And there's also progress for the sake of progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was our review of Maximum Security. Go listen to it on SoundCloud. We want people to go see the Schroiters on their pages, and
Give them
if you guys
listens.
have any, and if you guys have any recommendations for what album we should review next, put it either down in the comments below or come in our Discord server and tell us there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're looking for people. We're always getting the Schroit family bigger and bigger.
Schroit wave, baby. Schroit never dies.
So
Schroit with a
yeah,
Y.
we're gonna continue Schrexcavating some Schroidness. That didn't really work. I wanted to make like goodness, but like Schroit, but it yeah.